Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me Shruti Vashisht. So if you're new to this channel is all about manifestation and primarily I've been speaking about relationships so far. So sorry I haven't made videos in I think I missed 1 day or 2 days, I'm not sure. And the reason is because I've been very super active on my other channel, which is the first channel that I formed. It's all about ascension. If you want to check it out, I'll link it below. It's called Living Our Ascension. But this channel is about manifestation, and today I wanted to speak to you about something that is happening now, and I thought it would make an interesting video. So it's just gonna be a quick tip on how to basically avoid duality within your relationships. And if you're new to the word duality, it just means any kind of unbalanced relationships. So we tend to usually do one or the other thing that I'm going to give you two things that we tend to do, and this is this is not an exhaustive list in the sense of there's many other things that can go on, but overall I feel that this is where we fall. So it's like a good strategy to use, I guess you can say, that if you find yourself within the balance of both of these points that I'm going to give you, then you're going to have very fulfilling relationships, and especially it'll help you at those times when there's lots of conflicts happening. Like now we just had the eclipse and there's a lot of like a pressure cooker situation happening within our relationships. So if you want to hear what my tips are, keep watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out below this video. I have links to a new course called Manifest Soulmate Relationships, and there's links to work with me also. There's even a link to a free mini course. Okay, so what are my tips on basically being within balance? And you can even use this to check if you are creating your relationships, like especially when they get intense, am I creating it within some sort of feeling of lack, or the choices that I'm making now, are they within balance? So the first tip is what we tend to do when we are hurt in relationships, especially when somebody has disappointed us, or it could just be our relationship pattern coming from childhood, is that we won't ask for what we need. So if you're sharing space, especially with someone, whoever it might be, it could be just a flatmate, like like a flatmate, or it could be an intimate partner, your spouse or your whatever, somebody you're living with, or it could be your birth family, friends, just anyone. But if you are not asking for what you need and you're feeling resentment inside of you, and you have this pattern, let's say, or you're observing it now within yourself, it's because you are not fully trusting the other person. It's kind of like this usually when people are behaving this way, it's inflexibility. It's because I don't want to tell you what my need is, because if I tell you what my need is, then that means that I also have to show up for you. Like I also have to be flexible. So it's not always like 100%, but a lot of the times this is what I've observed, that when people are afraid to say, or they don't want to say, or they're too proud to say what their needs are, and they're not asking for it, they might, and they can be very strict as well, that you should do things this way, and let's say you're sharing the same space, you should put things this here, and they have these very strict rules. But at the same time, sometimes they're not good at asking for, and let's say even they might be very organized themselves, but sometimes that can be a strategy to avoid being in that space where the other person can help you as well. You're in control, like you're taking care of everything, so something like that. And if you find that you feel that what you tend to do is you withdraw within relationships. So if you're having a conflict with someone, but yet you're required to stay with them, like you are living with them, but it's just a phase that you're passing through, or whatever it might be, and again, the reason that we withdraw, and we don't want anything to do with that, and we're not asking for what we need, rather we just show up, and we can be a little bit too like this is how it should be, and holier than thou types, and waiting, you know, like when the other person screws up, like we tell them that this is not how it is or something. So this is a sign that we are too aligned with you know, this more masculine side of us that knows how to withdraw, let's say, and you know, be independent, be in control and all of that, in an outer way, so stuff like that. And they don't really want to, when we're too much, you know, into just one polarity, like on one side, which is the more masculine in this case, then we want to be, we think that, you know, we got to look out for ourselves basically, and we're not gonna ask, especially when we're hurt, our default might be to not ask for help in that sense. And part of you again is probably thinking that if I, you know, it puts me in a vulnerable situation, like if I ask for help and somebody shows up for me, that means that I might have to do the same, and I'm not willing to be flexible, because they, you know, they might be asking me to do something that I'm a little bit more uncomfortable to do, or I have to like tread into new territory, I have to sort of break my ego a little bit, whatever. So this can be playing out, so watch out if you are inflexible. So that is one thing, that we can be too inflexible, we don't ask for what we need, can be a sign of that. Then the second thing is, the second thing that you can fall under, which, you know, is kind of like the opposite, is not having clarity about what your boundaries are. So while the first one was probably they know what their boundaries are and they're good at withdrawing, so they're like, you are separate, I am separate, this is you know, like separate, I take care of my needs, you take care of your needs. I don't like that space where we can where we sort of can help each other, especially when there's conflicts, because I got this, like I am you know, independent, so I'm going to play it that way. So that sort of a thing, and putting myself out there emotionally is more difficult for me. So that's the feeling of the first one. But the second one is that you are so involved with the other person. It can be a feeling of neediness. This is the more feminine side, you know, the lower feminine. When we are too much in this, it can be that you're not stating your terms clearly. This can happen, that you don't have proper boundaries, and when you don't have proper boundaries, you haven't told people through your words as well as your actions that, you know, that I have certain boundaries, and there's certain what is the word, like not rules, but what the terms of the contract are, what the terms of the relationship are, because every relationship, adult relationships, have terms, whether we like it or not. Like, you might think that I'm so in love with my partner, there is no but there's always this equal give and take that happens. If it's not happening, relationships collapse at an energetic level. So you know, there's something going and coming, and there's like an equal exchange. So that's the contract. I'm not saying it has to be a written contract, but there's these terms and conditions that, you know, I give you this and I get back that, or whatever. And so we need to make space in relationships to have our needs fulfilled. Let's say we're a person who's very emotionally attuned, and we know how to take care of other people as well as ourselves, like emotionally, and we kind of make that our default, you know, that I like this space where there's more communion, where we can look out for each other, like emotionally and physically and whatever. But you're attaching too much to that identity, and you haven't drawn enough boundaries. Like, you're scared that if I draw a boundary, then the other person will run away, or I'll lose them, or something will happen, or, you know, some sort of security that you're attaching to, like you won't get it. So this means that you need to have firmer boundaries. You need to clearly know yourself. What is it that you need in this relationship? We all have needs. You don't have to feel guilty about having needs. That's another thing with people who default this way. Is that what is your need? You know, we all, for example, if you live in a house and you're sharing it with someone, and you're not having your needs fulfilled, whatever they are, your physical needs, everybody deserves that home, that if you're living in a home, you're comfortable there. So it's the one place where we come home and we sort of just, you know, relax, we lie down, and we it's like a place of comfort. So if and relationships are similar, and that's why, you know, we also live with our intimate partners and stuff. So it's that whole space, the relationships and the space we share. If you're not having your needs fulfilled, however it might be, I'm not saying it only has to do with space, whatever it is. So you need to make that clear to the other person, rather than, what happens is that then we suppress it, and one day we'll either burst or we'll get manipulative in order to get it. So that means that our boundaries are not clear. First of all, we ourselves are not clear what it is that we want. We haven't gone deep enough to know what is it that I need, because we don't feel worthy enough, at some level. So let's see. So you need to have clarity. You need to tell others how to treat you by physically telling them when you have clarity, and also by standing firm within that. This is really important. So people who are more in this feminine side and tend to overdo it to the extent that it becomes the lower feminine at times, especially at times of conflict and pressure situations, then they there's not enough alignment with their own authenticity, with their own truth, essentially. So that is what something that you need is to be more firm. To it's important that, if you have told the other person that, let's say you like every time you go out to dinner, your spouse is late, they're always late, and they get you late and whatever, and you really don't like that, like you're somebody who likes to be on time, or it just somehow stresses you out, and finally you tell them that, the next time you do this, then I won't be able to go with you, I won't be able to accompany you, or whatever that boundary that you draw, then you need to stick to it. Because often these people, it's so hard for them to even claim what their boundary is to themselves, that once they say it out there to the other person, they feel that's the work done, and then next time after that they might get soft, oh no, like when the time comes, they'll be like, no, take your time and whatever. Then it sends mixed signals to the other person, you see. And so these people, they need to be more firm. So they need to be in alignment with their truth, and they need to know that sometimes you can lose a person because you don't have enough boundaries, because you're not strict enough, because people also want to respect you. They want to be with somebody who respects themselves, and they want to know how to love you as well, because everybody deserves that. And we all also, not only do we like being loved by the other person, but we also like we feel good when we are able to love them the way that they want, and then they're happy. So if we don't make our needs clear to other people, then that tends to happen. So so have firmer boundaries. If you're feeling something like a doormat, you're feeling resentment, you're feeling like people use you too much, and you're always the one who's like over who's just emotionally walked on, like basically a doormat, then this is a sign perhaps that you need better boundaries. And if you feel like you're always alone in everything that you do, like let's say all the actions and whatever, and you don't get enough respect for your actions, and so then it might be that that you are a little bit too inflexible, and you need to be a little bit more flexible and allow just time to relax, to go within, to connect within, to become okay with that space of vulnerability, because you're not vulnerable enough within yourself. Then that's what it means. This is the first example, right, where I was saying the people who are not flexible enough, they need to be more flexible. They might be more independent, but they're not flexible enough. So if you, let's say, if the reason for this is that you're not okay with being vulnerable enough with yourself, that is why it's uncomfortable for you to be vulnerable with the other person, especially at a time when you're fighting, or you're not sure they're going to stay with you, or there's some sort of distrust a little bit that happens, especially in that space. Then it's hard for you to do. So the way to strengthen that is to have a more intimate connection with yourself, to become okay with that vulnerable space when you feel vulnerable, to go into those emotions. And when that starts feeling okay to you, and you're not judging it as being messy, and because some people default to that. They're like, emotions are messy. I deal with mine, you deal with yours, and this is fine. But it's only one half of the equation. So we do need that as well. But at the same time, if you're completely just withdrawing and you're saying, well, this is mine, this is yours, then you can never have a relationship with anyone, because relationships do get messy. But it's just about being comfortable with that space where the mess happens or the emotions come, and where you can hold space as well. And not always it's not always about just taking the right action and fixing things immediately. Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful to you. Let me know if these tips helped you out. If it's true, usually, like I said, it's not like a foolproof thing, but this is just what I'm observing now, and it tends to we tend to usually fall in one of these two polarities. And also it can be that you're somebody who does a bit of both in different relationships, because imbalance is imbalance, right? So we fluctuate from one extreme to the other as well when there is imbalance. But it's just something to observe within yourself and do some inner work. And if you really feel that you're addressing both of these, then that is a state of that is a good space to be in. And from that space, when you make a choice in a relationship, you're changing something around and you're making a choice, or you're trying to have a firmer boundary, or you're trying to be more vulnerable. So whatever choice you're making from a space that feels more balanced from both these sides, where you are firm with the boundaries but you're also flexible at the same time, when both of that is there, when you're vulnerable, you allow that vulnerability, but there's also this neutrality, this more, I wouldn't say detachment, but like non-attachment. So both of those factors, that is a balanced state to be in, and a balanced state to make choices from, where you can avoid experiencing this more duality in relationships, so that it doesn't have to keep playing out. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one.